Brought to you by Thomas Allgaier and Frennis. This edition highlights key LinkedIn posts on commercial fleets in weeks 48 and 49. Frennis supports automotive enterprises and consultancies with market, customer, and competitive intelligence in the commercial fleet sector, with a strong focus on digital solutions and emerging technologies. Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today is pretty laser-focused. We're synthesizing the absolute critical shifts that are happening in commercial fleet operations, and this is all pulled directly from conversations happening right now among industry pros.
Yeah, and the conversation has really moved on. It's completely past the hypothetical stage.
Exactly. We are no longer debating if zero-emission vehicles are coming. The talk is all about how fleets are implementing them. I mean, at the route level today.
That's absolutely right. The source material, the collective intelligence of the industry from the last couple of weeks, it shows this decisive shift. We're moving from long-term strategy to immediate operational reality.
So this is all about execution.
All about execution. And we're seeing three main levers that are defining success. Really disciplined electrification economics, overcoming the infrastructure challenge, and, of course, leveraging high-level data intelligence.
Okay, let's unpack this by starting where every commercial decision really starts, the money.
Exactly. Electrification lives or dies by the total cost of ownership, the TCO, and the sources. They show a really clear sweet spot where the math already works.
So where is that sweet spot right now?
Well, Tony Neeson highlighted that the fleets that are actually profitable today with EVs are the ones with fixed routes, shorter distances, and the luxury of predictable depot charging. So think delivery vans, city transit, school buses.
That fixed route structure seems to be the key, right? James Tillman, he reinforced this idea, arguing that operations like the USPS, with its known routes, long dwell times, it's not a leap of faith for electrification. He literally called it basic math. It's all predictable.
And when the math works, the results can be pretty dramatic. Mark Hecker cited a data point showing that electric fleets can already be up to 20% cheaper than combustion fleets on that TCO metric.
20% is huge. But that has to assume, perfect execution. What happens when fleet managers just focus on that low sticker price and ignore the complexity?
And that's where the discipline comes in. Omar Al-Halak stressed that this isn't a simple product swap. You can't just drop an EV into a slot where a diesel truck used to be.
Right.
It requires a complete solution that's tailored to the demands of commercial operations uptime, load requirements, realistic range.
We hear so much about the theoretical TCO savings, but you rarely hear about the hidden costs when procurement goes wrong.
And that's exactly why Lehan Hansen's cautionary tale really stood out. It's just a classic failure of TCO discipline. A municipal fleet saved $27,000 up front. They chose cheaper crane trucks.
Let me guess, that $27,000 didn't stay saved for very long.
Not at all. Within 3 months, those inadequate stability features, they used standard instead of reinforced outriggers, led to $89,000 in costs.
Wow.
Yeah. Rentals, overtime, repairing one truck that actually tipped over. It's just a brutal reminder that a low upfront cost can create these devastating lifecycle expenses if you don't engineer the whole solution for the job.
That story really grounds it. It suggests that success is less about just buying vehicles and more about optimizing the whole financial journey from the start.
Exactly. And Jay Klump mentioned Harbinger's Fleet Economic Accelerator program, which does precisely that. It focuses on stacking tailored strategies and incentives to make sure those favorable economics are unlocked from day one.
So the economic argument is strong if you do it right, but none of it works without power.
And that brings us neatly to the biggest limiting factor right now: infrastructure. So many professionals on LinkedIn feel that the charging network is the real friction point, not the vehicle itself.
And when we say infrastructure, we're not just talking about plugs in the wall. This is about smart charging, load management.
It's about leveraging data to optimize the whole process.
Yeah.
Precisely. Joshua Aviv highlighted solutions like SparkAI, which optimizes EV fleet charging. And this goes way beyond simple scheduling.
So what's it doing?
It's using data on real-world conditions, so topography, elevation, even the day's temperature, to figure out the most efficient charging schedule to really maximize that fleet uptime.
So it's not just plugging in, it's when and how much you charge, based on the day's actual needs.
That intelligence is the keystone. Jan Koester and Daniel Hilson, they both stress that smart charging is vital for reliability and, critically, for cost efficiency, especially in big depots facing rising energy demand with limited grid capacity.
Right, you can't just plug in 100 trucks at once.
You'll blow the grid. You have to actively manage that load or face just enormous upgrade costs.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Some fleets are turning this high energy use into an actual financial advantage.
This is a fascinating strategy. Mauricio Sardi suggested fleets should be optimizing their electricity use by participating directly in what are called flexibility markets.
So what does that mean in practice?
It allows them to charge when energy demand is super low, like when solar or wind generation is high, and you can sometimes get prices near 0.01 per kilowatt hour in places like Spain or Portugal.
Wow.
That just fundamentally changes the financial structure. Your energy budget goes from being a fixed liability to, well, a potential revenue stream.
That's a massive operational shift.
Okay.
But looking at the logistics of actually building this, partnerships are key, right? Mosdale noted EO Charging and Kiba Group are coordinating hardware and software to simplify depot rollouts.
And for fleets crossing borders, simplicity is everything. Gideon Van Dyke shared how the Arval collaboration is simplifying cross-border charging for professional drivers across Europe. It's about making it seamless.
But the biggest delay often isn't even the charging unit. It's the physical and administrative nightmare of getting the site ready.
Absolutely. Josh Dorfman highlighted companies like Volterra, and they are focused entirely on those non-vehicle hurdles that are slowing everyone down.
So we're talking permitting, zoning.
Exactly. And utility grid readiness for massive power needs. I mean, we are talking 3 to 12 megawatts for a large depot. These choke points can slow the site build out to 18 to 24 months.
18 to 24 months.
Yeah. It's a stark reminder of the complexity. Meanwhile, cities are trying to catch up fast. Keith Kerman mentioned DCS efforts in New York City to expand their charging networks, including rolling out their first curbside fast chargers.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit, let's talk about the digital layer that binds all of this together. If electrification is the engine, the data flowing through the fleet is the smart brain. Mohammed Solomon calls telematics the engine of operational intelligence.
And that intelligence delivers immediate control and security.
Yeah, let's talk control. David Fish detailed how Ford Pro is using remote management and geofencing. It gives fleet managers real peace of mind. They can remotely lock vehicles or make sure they stay within certain zones.
So the vehicle becomes a sophisticated, digitally managed asset.
Not just a piece of metal on the road.
And for that data to be useful, it has to be presented in a way that actually helps the manager do their job. Sergey Luchenko highlighted how Telematics Insights offers these fully customizable drag-and-drop dashboards.
So it adapts to the manager's workflow.
Exactly. Instead of being buried in static reports, it accelerates their decision-making.
That customization is key, but the real test is the bottom line. How does this data translate directly into hard savings?
Well, it connects directly to preventing catastrophic failures. Scott Raffon shared a fantastic example. The Go-Ahead Group achieved significant maintenance savings by preventing engine failures, which can cost up to £20,000 per engine.
Per engine? Wow.
And they did it simply by monitoring low oil pressure and coolant temperature data in real time. That's predictive maintenance paying off big time.
Data preventing disaster. What about just pure efficiency?
Well, Abhinav Vasu emphasized that rich data is really the oxygen for sustainability targets. He cited the Milk and More case study, where data insights led to annual fuel savings of over £2 million.
$2 million.
And a 19% increase in EV range, just from optimized driving and charging patterns. It shows how data turns these sustainability goals into a profitable reality.
And now AI is being layered on top of this, right? It's changing the dispatcher's role.
Absolutely. Jiro K explained how AI is providing instant answers and operational control. It frees dispatchers from constant interruptions and lets them execute decisions at a speed that was impossible before.
So that's changing the market structure itself.
It is. Sviat Irishin noted a clear shift, especially in places like Korea, where OEM data integration is replacing the need for third-party GPS trackers. The value is moving away from the physical tracker and squarely into the analytics platform.
And when you combine that with location data.
Parlos Salata confirms that GIS, or Geographic Information Systems, combined with telematics, provides not just the what, but the where and why for risk-aware operations.
It's powerful to see these insights translating into real-world momentum. So where are we seeing fleets succeeding today?
Well, yard and last-mile operations are the clearest wins so far. Jennifer Bazemore highlighted electric yard tractors at Laser Logistics as a massive success story. You get improved uptime, lower operating costs. It's a controlled, closed-loop environment.
And in that last mile, Phil Everett reported that Royal Mail is decarbonizing urban deliveries using 84 Paxter MEVs. For our listeners, MEVs are microelectric vehicles.
Tiny little things.
Yeah, tiny purpose-built vehicles, perfect for dense urban areas. They drastically reduce emissions right where people live.
That's the low-hanging fruit. But even really complex logistics are migrating. Roby Moyano noted the successful transition of Transbernal Logistica Catalana to electric trucks, even for demanding routes with live animal transport.
And that validates it for other high-stakes operations. The push is clearly extending into heavy industry, too.
Without a doubt. Bill Pierce reported that Australia's first massive CAT 793 XE battery electric haul trucks arrived at a BHP mine for trialing. We're also seeing long-haul mature rapidly. Patrick Holmes shared details of a successful 700-kilometer electric truck test route in Germany.
Right. But we have to address the global benchmark that's being set here, the sheer speed of adoption in China.
Oh, absolutely. The data on China it's staggering. It truly sets a global precedent. Richard S. and Jason Noir highlighted this overwhelming speed. China is electrifying medium and heavy-duty trucks much faster than anyone anticipated.
So what do the numbers look like?
In the first half of 2025 alone, 22% of new heavy-duty trucks sold in China were battery electric.
22%. In just 6 months for heavy duty.
And that segment, it accounted for over 90% of global zero-emission truck sales. It's driven by pure economics, low industrial electricity prices, mild winters. It's not a pilot program anymore. This is full-scale rollout.
That level of momentum makes our final theme, safety and compliance, absolutely crucial. The regulatory landscape has to catch up to this speed.
It does, and the focus is shifting from just documenting accidents to actively preventing them. Oliver Holt emphasized the move to a proactive safety culture by empowering drivers with real-time coaching tech to correct risky behaviors immediately.
And the software itself have to be resilient for fleets that just can't stop.
Exactly. Jeffrey Berry noted that weather-resilient software is vital for emergency service fleets. And Mark Holmes highlighted a really practical challenge: managing growing e-bus fleets during severe winter storms, forcing agencies to develop new strategies for maximizing range and charging.
And the regulatory environment is mirroring this operational reality. Simon Riley noted the UK Budget 2025 introduced a per-mile road charge for EVs.
Which sounds like a tax, but what it actually does is it cements EVs into the long-term transport and taxation framework. It signals they are here to stay.
Meanwhile, compliance pressure in Europe is only getting tighter. Mark Hecker mentioned the European Commission might mandate a full shift to electric corporate fleets by 2030. That puts a hard deadline on this.
To manage that, Steph Cornelis, after a talk with Daimler Truck leadership, suggested key EU action points. He emphasized prolonging EU funds for heavy-duty vehicle charging and, crucially, using revenues from the Expanded Emissions Trading System, or ETS2, to support small and medium businesses going electric.
Wait, can you quickly explain what ETS2 is for listeners who might be less familiar?
Sure. The original emissions trading system covered heavy industry and power plants. ETS2 expands that carbon pricing to fuels used in transport and heating. So using those revenues to help smaller fleets electrify is a direct way to recycle carbon revenue back into decarbonization.
So that political infrastructure is finally catching up to the physical infrastructure needs. That seems to be the final piece of the puzzle.
It is. The compliance landscape is maturing, and as Liam Callahan stressed, fleets need to adopt interoperable solutions now that protect against asset risk as these mandates tighten globally.
This deep dive has really confirmed that the industry narrative is shifting decisively. We've moved from debating vehicle availability to prioritizing operational excellence through smart charging, advanced data, and just rigorous TCO discipline. If you enjoyed this deep dive, new editions drop every 2 weeks. Also check out our other editions on electrification and battery technology, future mobility and market evolution, and next-gen vehicle intelligence. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
And here's a final provocative thought for you to mull over. The pace of change in China's heavy-duty sector, already replacing 22% of new trucks with EVs in 6 months, is fundamentally reshaping global fuel demand. So the question is the rest of the world prepared for the speed and scale that occurs when zero-emission transport stops being a green goal and becomes a purely spreadsheet decision? Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next analysis.